All right. Monday the 25th. Crazy. We're on week 5. Oh man, this is all right. Day 12, week 5. This is BCA-101, Introduction to Computers. We talked about finishing up the unit. We talked just a little bit about word processing. We did look at the skills-based assessment for Wednesday. We looked at that together in class. We did not do an intro to the spreadsheets, but we did cover some key things on computer details. All right. Does that make sense? Whoa. Talking about details, we started out, I talked about the processor. I drew that up first. We talked about the processor. We have a 64-bit processor in our computers. Registers, high-speed staging areas in the processor, and the arithmetic logic unit is in the processor. Okay, this is in here, and registers are in here. 64-bit. This is important if you're going to. It's got a 64-bit processor and a 64-bit bus, and we looked at that on the machines in the classroom. And that's important if you're going to download software. That was one example. There's lots of other examples, but that's what we used. We talked about memory, random access memory in the computer, and we talked about storage. Now, it's probably inside the box, but I draw it out here, separate from the motherboard because it's connected to the motherboard. Right there. Typically a hard drive, and we'll talk about those specifics later. Okay, so that'll be a little bit later on. We did talk about virtual memory here. So if your memory starts to fill up with programs and data and so forth, it can leave a little bit of information out here in the hard drive. Now what happens there though is this is really fast, actually measured. We like the machines we had here in class, they're something like 3.4 gigahertz. 3.4 billions of cycles every second. That's fast, okay? Move stuff inside the computer here fast. Moving it from here in, that's slower. So it's like a jet airplane and it's like a turtle. So as your memory fills up, starting here, it's not overflowing yet, but some software will leave parts out here. Then when they need them, they'll bring them in the memory, and then they'll get processed. So, lesson, if you have money, spend it on memory, get extra memory, rather than maybe necessarily a fast processor. Because if you can't keep the processor busy, it's irrelevant. We'll talk more about that later on. We'll talk about the ASCII code. For example, that's capital A based on the ASCII code. We'll talk a little more about that later. And we reviewed 8 bits gives us a byte. So we measure how much these things hold. Measure how much these hold in bytes. Okay? We measure how fast the things move. Let's say here to a switch or whatever, bits per second. Alright, right there. Oh, then we finished up the day. Yeah, exciting. We talked about multitasking, and the students typed up some of their ideas in a Google Doc. We talked about shaming. First issue was she probably shouldn't have taken the picture and made fun of it. Second issue, it's almost impossible to get rid of that once it's on the internet. And then the third thing I talked about was how cruel the internet can be to somebody once they make a mistake like that. I actually think this is one of the more concerning things. Granted, you could decide right or wrong, you know, she should have or shouldn't have, and then at what level though should have she been punished, so to speak. And this was hard on her. Okay, so that was it for today. We talked about a number of other items from the document that's under that open internet. Okay? So it was a good discussion, even though I didn't a lot of the talking. Okay. All right. Skills-based exam on Wednesday. So that's it.